Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Shiko Math Practice Lab Algebra 2 lecture series. Today, we're going to talk about lesson 2.7. So we're still in the chapter 2, the linear equation, how to write the linear equations. So today, we're going to talk about how to write linear equations into the slope and the intercept form, or the slope and the given point. So how do we write a linear equation if I have the slope and the intercept? And this intercept will mean the y-intercept, and then also the slope and the given point. Okay, before we look at our worksheets, let's take a look. I'm going to give you one very brief lecture, and so you'll be able to do it. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the whiteboard, and we're going to have a quick lectures here, so hope you will remember. Okay, so now, we talk about the linear form, right? So we did in the beginning, the previous, I think in the previous video or the one before that, we talk about the linear equations. Oh, here, so here, and okay, so here, linear equations. Okay, don't know how to get that. Okay, so the linear equations, we talk about the standard form, right? So the standard form, we say this is ax plus by equal to c, right? So we say this is the standard form. Then the a, b, and c, they are all the whole numbers, right? And also, the common, the common factor, the common factor for all these three are 1. That means you cannot factor out any extra numbers here. Okay, so we also talk about if you give me 2 points, right? So if we give the 2 points here, so we know the 2 points determine the line. So if this is x1, y1, and this is x2, y2, and the way we define the slope, as we defined in the previous video, we say is the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And this is sometimes our teacher always, I think most of the students remember we call this rise over run, right? That means how much the y increase over the interval, the x running here. Okay, so this is kind of brief review what we did before. So today we're going to talk about the 2 other forms. First one's here, we call this the slope and the intercept form. And in fact, these forms here is almost, sometimes we want to call this the golden form for the linear equation because it's one of the most useful forms here. So what we write here is y is equal to the mx plus b's here, right? So what is the m's here? M, this is our slope. And what is the b's here? B, remember including the sign in the front, so sometimes could be negatives, right? So this is what we call is the y-intercept. Okay, so anything if it's in this form, then we say it's slope and the y-intercept. So for examples here, so if I have y is equal to the 2x minus 3, so from this, then I know the slope m is equal to the slope, right? So what is the slope here? Slope is through 2. Now what is my y-intercept here, right? So y-intercept, remember, should be here including the sign in front of it. So what is the y-intercept? Is -3 here, right? So this is a very, very important form. Like I say, it's almost, we call it the golden form for the linear equation. Then the other ones here we can know is the slope and a given point. So if the problem give us the slope and the given point, so for example, the problem give us the slope is equal to m, then also it giving us a point. So let's say it's x1, y1, so it's a point. So what is the linear line looks like? Linear line will look like y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1 here. So this is what we call the slope under one given point. Of course, after you do that, you can simplify it a little bit, right? So this one's here. So for examples here, right? So if the given slope is like a -2, then given point is 1, 1, then your equation will just be y minus 1 is equal to the -2 x minus 1. Like we say, you can simplify this is a little bit. So -2, then plus 2, right? This is y minus 1, then you add 1 both sides. So you can change this to the slope and the intercept form here. Okay, so that's it. So like for this lesson, we are learning, right, two very important formula. This is the one of the formula, and this is one of the formula. So combined with what we learned before, so we have 3 different ways you can, write a linear equation, find the linear equations here. Okay, that's it. So now let me go to our worksheets here, right? So then let's start to work some of the problems here. Okay, so here is the worksheets here, right? So now take a look here. They said, try to find the equation into the slope and the intercept form. Okay, and now this is our worksheet 2.7. As always, I'm going to work on the blue problems, like those examples in this lecture series in the video. Then here, the remaining part is just an exercise for you to practice. All right, so make sure you go through some of the problem on the exercise to make sure you practice that. Okay, so now let's give you a little bit more space here so we can start to work on that. Okay, so let's take a look. So let's say slope equal to 3 passing through 1, -3. So remember, this is x. The first coordinate is always x, and the second coordinate is y, right? So this is given a slope and a point. So according to the formula I just wrote, what is we do here? So this is y minus what? Be careful, right? So y minus -3. So this is where sometimes, if people make a mistake, that's what is making mistake. So this is 3x minus 1 here, right? So here, this is the important part, and make sure, you write it as, put a parenthesis around. So now this one here is y negative is what? Positive, right? So it's y plus 3. Now here, what type of the property I'm using? Distributive, right? So this is 3x minus 3. Because they want to change it to a slope intercept form, so I need to move the 3 over. So this is y plus 3 is equal to the 3x minus 3. So you minus 3 minus 3. So what is the final answer? So it's 3x minus what? Minus 6. Okay, right? So, okay, so just need to remember, write it down, the formula, I wrote there for you. Okay, so the next one's here. This one is the, let me just try to write over here so we can refresh back. So this is mx plus b, or you can say y minus y1 equal to the mx minus x1, right? Those are the two formulas we're going to use for this lesson. Okay, so now let's take a look at this one. So these ones here, they give you the slope and they give you the intercept. So I directly just plug into the formula. So what is my line will be the mx, so it's 3x plus b what is the b's here? So the b's here is what? So the b's here is -4, is -3 minus 4, right? Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Okay, so now let's take a look at the next ones here. Okay, so the next ones here, okay, so these ones here, you know, they will tell you I'm going, so I know so it's giving you the slope, but instead of give you the y-intercept, what do they give you? The x-intercept. So the formula we talk about here, right? So this is the formula we talk about here. The b is the y-intercept. Okay, so for this, we have x-intercept here, okay? So what you need to do here, so because the x-intercept at phi, really the x-intercept is that means the x equal to phi, y equal to 0, right? So it's just like it's a point, 5, 0. Okay, so now I can use a slope and 1 point. So it will be y minus 0 is equal to 1/3 x minus what? X minus 5. So this is y equal to 1/3 of x minus 5/3. So this is what, what is the slope and the intercept for. Okay, so now let's take a look at this ones here, right? So the number 4 here. Okay, so number 4, so I want to find the line passing through these 2 points. So this problem, we just add 1 extra steps because it did not give us the slope. So I need to find the slope, right? So slope here, it will be x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1. So I will say -6 minus -4. So those formula is quite simple. That is 2 minus zeros, right? So the only thing you need to be careful is about those negative things. So this is negative, right? So this is -6 plus 4. So what is it going to give you is negative what? -2. Then 2 minus 0 is 2. So this slope is -1. And then after I get a slope, I can choose the slope and the 1 point. So in here, in fact, you can choose any point you like. You can choose this point or this point, but I will prefer to choose this point. Why you would prefer to choose this point? Because this point has a 0. Every time when you're dealing with 0, it's easy to do. So now you can say this is y minus y1 -4, right? So be careful. And it's equal to the -1, then the x minus 0, right? So minus 0 is easy to take care. So this is negative will give you y plus 4 equal to -x. Then you -4 all side. So what is your final answer? The final answer will be y equal to the -x minus 4 here. Okay, so for this type of the problem, like if you plan to take the SAT later or, in your junior year or, so those type of the problems very frequently happen in the SAT problems here, right? So give you the points, then you find the line. So it's, the frequency for those type of problems happening in the SAT is quite high. Okay, so now let's take a look at how do I do the equation for the lines here. Okay, so let's take a look at these ones here. So for the first ones here, right? So in here, you see here, I have what? I got 2 points. One is 0, 3, and other is 3, -3. So I have 2 points, 0, 3, and 3, -3. So what the first things you need to do? Hey, find the slope, right? The slope is y2 minus y1. So it's -3 minus 3. And then 3 minus 0. So what is -3 minus 3? -6, right? So it's 3. So what is my slope here? It's -2 here. Okay, so now I'm going to find the lines again. Which point I will choose? I will choose this one because I have a 0 there. It's easy to deal with. All right, okay. So now the equation will just be, okay, so it y minus y1. So y minus 3, and it will be equal to -2, the x minus 0, right? So this is the 1 minus 3, the -2x, then plus 3 plus 3. So this is will be y equal to the -2x plus 3. It's good? Okay. Okay, so now let's take a look at the next ones here. So the next ones here, I have 2 points also. So this is -3, 3, and this is 3, -1. You know, in this practice, the problem gives you the points. You know, sometimes in the SAT exam, they're not going to give you those points. So now you basically, you just need to look for the point which the line touched the, the coordinates exactly. Okay, so sometimes when they give you, it's easy. If not, you just need to say, oh, okay, so what is this point? What is the coordinates of x and what's the coordinates of y here? If they give you, then that's pretty easy. So this is -3, 3, right? Then this is 3, -1. So let's do one more time. What is the slopes here? y2 minus y1. So it's -1 minus 3. Okay. And then this is 3 minus -3. Right? Like I said, the only thing going to kind of give you trouble is those negative signs. As long as you be careful, you'll be okay. So this is -4 to the 6. Simplify a little bit, it will be -2 to the 3, right? That will be the slope. Now you can choose a point. Here it doesn't really matter which point you choose. There's no 0 there to simplify. So that's fine. So I will just choose the first one. So right now, I'm just going to choose this first point. Right? So here, it's really, it doesn't matter which one because the both, will be able to work. So it's y minus 3 is equal to -2/3 times what? X minus what? -3, right? So be careful about those negative sign. So this will be y minus 3, then this is -2/3. So what is here? X plus 3, right? Okay. Now, okay, let's continue to simplify it. So this is y minus 3, then go boom, boom, distributed series. So 2/3 of x, -2/3 times 3 is what? It's -2, right? Okay, so now plus 3 plus 3. So I have y equal to the -2/3 of the x plus 1, right? So that will be the answers here. Okay, so now the last ones here. So if you still remember, like we did in the previous video when we talk about, the slope, right? So the slopes here, if it's a flat line, we say the slope, because this is flat lines, right? So what is the slopes here? That means the slope equal to what? Slope equal to 0. So it's a slope equal to 0, and also they passing through the 0, 2. So this is really the y-intercept, right? So you should have a y equal to the mx plus b here. So what is the slope here? 0, right? So it's 0 times x. What is the y-intercept? It's 2. So what is 0 times x? Is 0, so it's y equal to 2. So y equal to 2, that will be your linear equation. Okay, that's it. All right, so the key part here for these sections here is make sure you remember those two very, very important formulas, right? And those are the, like especially the slope and the y-intercept form, those are typical, we call it the golden formula. A lot of linear equation, they just want to change to this ways here. Okay, that's it. So this is the worksheet 2.7. Okay, and nice to talk to you, and have a good day, and looking forward to talk to you to our next videos here. Okay, bye. Have a good day.